Welcome back to another session of understanding the meanings of words based on the context when we are reading books. So, without any further ado, let us get into the topic. Good luck. Okay, our first word today is jesting, basically, jest. So, jesting, what does it mean by jesting? Do you see any clues? The two clues that I can see is give up and we can. So, giving somebody saying give up something, that means you are doing something wrong or something not expected, and then we can do something. So that's the clue. So based on that, try to find out. Let's see. Right, a jester is basically a joker. May not be exactly, but basically he's the person who is being funny and humorous. So basically he's trying to do something or talk something which is not apt for that situation, and we are telling the author is telling him to stop and let us start talking something, discussing seriously. So that's what is jesting. Now the word is repose, but the author is saying I can continue without need for. So that means he can do a job without having something. But what is that something is not clear. See, that is where I need to know the meaning now. Even in the context, we don't know what is repose. I can continue without sleeping. I can continue without eating. I can continue without talking. Whatever. But what is it? So let us see. Basically, repose looks like it is the opposite of getting tired. Basically, he's saying I can continue without getting tired. That is what it means. So, but the actual meaning is not being tired or sleep, getting sleep to do a certain job. Okay, you're close, but it's okay. Okay, utopian. The only clue I'm getting there is it looks like some Greek word for sure, like dystopian, utopian, and all that stuff. But surely I don't know the meaning of that word actually. What it says is not by any means there is a utopian idea. It could be a bad idea, it could be a good idea, it could be a ridiculous idea, it could be any idea, I don't know. But it is definitely looking something Greek or Latin for me. So let us see. Okay, after seeing the meaning, I can think of some sentences actually. Yeah, it was a great or utopian state. It was definitely a utopian state, which says that it was ideal but unrealistic. Really, there cannot be a state which is utopian. Utopian is basically the top of the world kind of thing, is what I am understanding from that meaning. It is ideal and perfect. There's nothing perfect, right? So basically, utopian is saying that it is the best possible state that existed ever, something like that. So context gives us something, context always doesn't give something. So if you keep reading, you will know slowly. Thank you. Okay. If I don't know the meaning completely of this word reconnoiter, it could mean anything happening while traveling. Basically, it's saying the principal aim of his journey was to reconnoiter. So it was to have pleasure, it was to go from place to place. It was, see, I can also say, right, the principal aim of his journey was to reach his destination. Does that mean reconnoiter? I don't know. So let us see. But it is something to do while going through that process. Basically, the author is saying the purpose of his going was to observe the region. And basically, that is what it is. Reconnaissance is basically done for military purposes, actually, in the olden days, maybe even today. Reconnaissance is basically done for that, to track what the enemy is doing and things like that. But it could happen for anything, it need not be only for that. So, observing, but you don't call when you're going on a train and you're seeing things, you don't call it as reconnaissance, actually. Basically, when you're doing some adventure, maybe. Basically, you're going on a drone, you're sending a drone or something, basically, to watch some wildlife and things like that. Then those are all, in a form, it's reconnaissance. You want to find out what's going on, how that particular animal survives, lives, anything. But basically, it is observation. Reconnaissance is basically observation. So, the author's purpose of the journey was to do some clear observations, scientific observations, or whatever. Privation is a difficult word, definitely, for me at least, because the word private means something else. But here, the author is saying is succumbed due to privation. But there are a lot of clues in this. Succumbed, if you know the meaning, there itself, half of it is resolved for us. But that itself could be a new word for me. What does succumb mean actually? Normally, succumb means is surrendering, but succumb could also be fatal. Okay, I may bring up this word some other day, but don't worry about that. If you remember, it is good, right? So, succumbed could be fatal also, but not always. So, basically, what he's saying, he succumbed to fatigue, and end itself is a very great clue there. Fatigue, we know. Okay, if I don't know fatigue also, then there's a serious problem. Then three words are there which we need to know the meaning. If one of them we know, we may be able to make out the others. But here, that and is giving a very big problem. Succumbed is basically suffering in a form or surrendering or dying. Anything could happen in that state. Basically, it is not a good thing happening, succumbing to some pressure. That's what we do. Fatigue, we know, is we are getting weak or whatever it is, means we are not able to go further or not able to do something. We are tired. Fatigue is basically tiredness in some form. So, what is privation? But fatigue and privation, whenever there is an end there, it is very clear that that is also telling something weak about weakness and unable to do things only. So, in the context, we are very clear with I don't need to go and see the dictionary now. So, he is suffering. But what is the exact meaning? We can go and see. See how context helps? That's very critical. While you continue reading like this, context will help most of the time actually. Rather than looking for single words, meanings, those will not help. Those may help in an examination or something like that. But not in while pleasure reading, you can't do that actually. Even in regular reading, serious reading for school, college, and all that, if you know the meaning of some words, it is easy. But this whatever I am talking now is more applicable to reading literature and things like that, but it should apply anywhere. So here we didn't know the meaning of privation, but we knew that that person was suffering due to tiredness and something related to tiredness. So basically, privation is nothing but not having the proper situation for human beings to live. For example, if you're thrown into the desert, you don't have food, you don't have proper ways to sleep, eat. That is what is privation in this case. Nothing to do with private, you see. Maybe some English literature student can explain, but I don't see a connection between private and privation here. Or you're being thrown privately into the desert, I don't know. And that requires a lot of research, and I am not into that. Those things are in these videos actually. We'll see if somebody comments. We will see. Thank you. Hope we learned something in this session. If you like it, please do the things that people do for YouTube videos. As you all know, I'm just trying to teach. So if you get something out of it, please do those things like whatever sharing, subscribing, what else they call liking, all those stuff, just to encourage me. And wish you all good luck and see you next time.